Blue moon, blue moon, blue moon, keep shining bright. Blue moon, keep on shining bright. You're gonna bring me back, my baby, tonight. Blue moon, keep shining bright. I say, blue moon, I Kentucky to keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gone and let me blue. I say, blue moon of Kentucky to keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gone and left me blue. Well, it was on one moonlight night, stars shining bright, whisper on high, love say goodbye. Blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gone and left me blue. Just keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gone and let me blue. I say, blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gone and let me blue. On the one moonlight night, stars shining bright, whisper on high, love said goodbye. Blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gone and let me blue. That's all right for you. That's all right, mama. Just any way you do it, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Any way you do. Well, mama, she done told me, papa done told me too. Son, that gal you fooling with, she ain't no good for you, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Any way you do. Sure, well then you won't be bothered with me hanging round your door, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, now, mama. Any way you do. Ah, da da dee 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 dee. I need your loving. That's all right. That's all right. I love you because you understand, dear. Every single thing I try to do, you're always there to lend a helping hand, dear. I love you most of all
they say about me. I know your love will always see me through. I love you for the way you never doubt me. But most of all, I love you 'cause you're you. No matter what may be the style or season, I know your heart will always be true. I love you for 100,000 reasons, but most of all I love you 'cause you're you.
Oh, well, I woke up this morning and I looked out the door. I can tell that old milk cow with the way she looks. Hold it, fellas. That don't move me. Let's get real gone for a change. Well, I woke up this morning and I looked out the door. I can tell that old milk cow, I can tell the way she looks. Now if you see my milk cow, please ride on home. I ain't had no milk and butter since that cow been gone. Well, I tried to treat you right day by day. I told a little prayer book, get out on your knees and pray for you gonna need. You're gonna need your love and daddy's help someday. And you're gonna be sorry treating me this way. Oh, let's milk it. Well, good evening. Don't that sun look good going down? But don't that old moon look lonesome when your baby's not around? Well, I've tried everything to get along with you. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna quit my crying. I'm gonna leave you alone. If you don't believe I'm leaving, you can count the days I'm gone. I'm gonna leave. You're gonna need your love and daddy's help someday. And you're gonna be sorry treating me this way.
brought you to me. I watched the harbor lights. How could I help if tears were starting? Goodbye to golden nights beside the silvery sea. I long to hold you dear and kiss you just once more, but you were on the ship and I was on the shore. Now I know lonely nights, for all the while my heart keeps praying that someday harbor lights will bring you back to me.
Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I'm with my baby. Well, it ain't no fun with the sun around. I get going when the sun goes down and I'm with my baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. But who cares how many times we kiss? 'Cause at a time like this, who keeps score? Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I meet my baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and a kiss and a kiss and a kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. Who cares how many times we kiss? 'Cause at a time like this, who keeps score? Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I meet my baby. And it don't matter if it's sleet or snow. I drive in's cozy when the lights are low, and I'm with my baby. Makes no difference if the rain comes down. I don't notice when she's around, oh boy. What a baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and a kiss and a kiss and a kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, one kiss from my baby doll makes me high, more. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I meet my baby. So when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, one kiss from my baby doll makes me holler, more. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I'm with my baby.
You're a heartbreaker, you're a love faker, a heartbreaker playing with fire. You're a tear snatcher, you're a quarrel patcher, but you can't break my heart anymore. For I have just found someone else who's sure to take your place, someone I I can always trust him to fill this empty space. You're a heartbreaker, you're a love faker, but you can't break my heart anymore. You're a smooth talker, you're a real cool walker, but now you have talked out of turn. You're a high stepper, you're an eye catcher, but you won't catch my glances anymore. For I have just found someone else who's sure to take your place. Someone I can always trust and to fill this empty space. You're a heartbreaker, you're a love faker, but you can't break my heart anymore. You're a heartbreaker, you're a love faker, a heartbreaker playing with fire. You're a tear snatcher, you're a quarrel patcher, but you can't break my heart anymore. For I have just found someone else who's sure to take your place. Someone I can always trust and to fill this empty space. You're a heartbreaker, you're a love faker, but you can't break my heart anymore.
Well, I heard the news, that's good to rockin' tonight. Well, I heard the news, that's good to rockin' tonight. I'm gonna hold my baby as tight as I can. Tonight she'll know I'm a mighty, mighty man. I heard the news, there's good to rockin' tonight. I say, oh, meet me in a hurry behind the barn. Don't you be afraid that I'll do you no harm. I want you to bring along my rocking shoes, 'cause tonight I'm going to rock away all the blues. I heard the news, there's good to rockin' tonight. Tonight, have you heard the news? Everybody's rocking tonight. I'm gonna hold my baby as tight as I can. Well, tonight she'll know, mighty, mighty man, I heard the news. There's good rocking tonight. I get my loving in the evening time when I'm with my baby. Well, it ain't no fun with the sun around. I get going when the sun goes down, and I'm with my baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. But who cares how many times we kiss? 'Cause at a time like this, who keeps score? Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I meet my baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss
kiss and a kiss and we're gonna kiss some more. Who cares how many times we kiss? 'Cause there's a time like this. Who keeps score? Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I meet my baby. And it don't matter if it's sleet or snow. A drive-in's cozy when the lights are low. And I'm with my baby. Makes no difference if the rain comes down. I don't notice when she's around. Oh boy, what a baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and a kiss and a kiss and a kiss and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, one kiss from my baby doll makes me high, more. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I meet my baby. So when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, one kiss from my baby doll makes me holler more. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time when I'm with my baby.
We're right on left, she's gone. You're right, and I'm left all alone. Well, you tried to tell me so, but how was I to know that she was not the one for me? You told me all along. You're right, our love was wrong. But now I'm changing my mind, 'cause she broke the tie of mine, and I know that she never cared for me. Well, I thought I knew just what she'd do. I guess I'm not so smart. Oh, you tried to tell me all alone, she'd only break my heart. I'm left, you're right, she's gone. You're right, and I'm left all alone. Well, she's gone, I know not where, but now I just don't care. For now, I'm falling for you. Forgive me now, I'll make it up somehow. So happy we will be in a home for three, and I'll soon forget her now, I know. Well, I thought I knew just what she'd do. I guess I'm not so smart. While you tried to tell me all along, you don't break my heart. But you're right, I'm left, she's gone. You're right, and I'm left all alone. Well, she's gone, I know not where, but now I just don't care. For now I'm falling for you. To forget her, I can't seem to get her off my mind. I thought I'd never miss her, but I found out somehow. I think about her almost all the time. The day she went away, I made myself a promise that I soon forget we're ever met. But something sure is wrong, 'cause I'm so blue and lonely I forgot to remember to forget. She went away, I made myself a promise that I'd soon forget we're ever met. Well, but something sure is wrong, 'cause I'm so blue and lonely I forgot to remember to forget. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Well, that long black train got my baby and gone. Train, train, coming round, round the bend. Train, train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. No, not again. Train, train, coming down, down the line. Train, train, coming down the line. Well, it's bringing my baby, 'cause she's mine, all mine, she's mine, all mine. Train, train, coming round, round the bend. Train, train, coming round, round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. Never will again. Shadows make me blue when each weary day is through. How I long to be with you, my happiness. Every day I dreaming of your tender kiss, always thinking how I miss my happiness. As it seems I have gone by since we shared our dreams, but I hold you again. There'll be no blue memories then, whether skies are gray or blue. Any place on earth will do, just as long as I'm with you. My happiness, a million years it seems have gone by since we shared our dreams, but I hold you again. There'll be no blue memories then, whether skies are gray or blue. Any place on earth will do, just as long as I'm with you. My happiness. If you find your sweetheart in the arms of a friend, that's when your heartaches begin. When dreams of a lifetime must come to an end, that's when your heartaches begin. Love is a thing you never can share. When you bring a friend into your love affair, that's the end of your sweetheart. That's the end of your friend. That's when your heartaches begin. If you find your sweetheart in the arms of your best friend, brother, that's when your heartaches begin. And when dreams of a lifetime must all come to an end, yeah, that's when your heartaches begin. You see, love is a thing that you never can share. And when you bring a friend into your love affair, that's the end.
If you find someone new who means more than me to you, I'll never stand in your way. If you feel we must part, don't let pity rule your heart. I'll never stand in your way. I love you much too much to ever lose you. But what is to be will be, and I'll obey. I'll be blue when you go, but I'll never let it show. I'll never stand in your way. I love you much too much to ever lose you. But what is to be will be, and I'll obey. I'll be blue when you go, but I'll never let it show. I'll never stand in your way. I could wander the byway we wanted to, but it wouldn't be the same without you. Those familiar old places would just make me blue, 'cause it wouldn't be the same without you. I wasted my love on a careless romance, but I'd do it again if I had the chance. I could start my life over with somebody new, but it wouldn't be the same without you. Well, I wasted my love on a careless romance, but I'd do it again if I had the chance. I could start my life over with somebody new, but it wouldn't be the same without you.
Play all of it. The rumble beat, everyone see the rumble beat? Up until you go into the chorus, and then on the break you go on. I'll start off.
That's all right for you. That's all right, Mama, just any way. Howdy, neighbors. That young man you're listening to is Elvis Presley. You can see and hear Elvis Presley in person this coming Wednesday night, February the 23rd, at the high school auditorium right here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Two big shows, 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. The advanced sale of tickets is now on at Moses Melody Shop, 502 Main Street, right here in Pine Bluff. The advanced price of tickets is only 75 cents, and at the box office there'll be $1. Hurry and get your tickets today and save money. In addition to Elvis Presley, you're gonna see and hear the fabulous Duke of Paducah, Mother Maybelle and the Carter Sisters from the Grand Ole Opry, Scotty and Bill, Charlie Stewart, Jimmy Rogers Snow. It's this coming Wednesday, February 23rd, at the Pine Bluff High School Auditorium.
Louisiana Hayride.
Come along, everybody, come along. Come on, we're going to
Yes, it's Saturday night and time for one of America's most colorful country music shows, starring some of the nation's top entertainers. Now here's old Paul in the saddle, Frank Page.
Friends, I guess you've all heard of Bill Coram, the famous sports columnist who's also president of Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, he's one of the many millions of people who smoke Luckies. And this is what he says about them. I smoke Luckies because they give me the enjoyment I like, and they taste better than any other cigarette to me. Now, Bill Coram's reason for smoking Lucky Strike is the same one most Lucky smokers give: better taste. What makes a Lucky taste better? It's toasted to taste better. Now, Lucky's better taste begins with fine tobacco. LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. And then, that tobacco is toasted. It's toasted. The famous Lucky Strike process brings Lucky's fine tobacco to its peak of flavor, tones up this naturally mild, good-tasting tobacco to make it taste even better, cleaner, fresher, smoother. Yes, a Lucky tastes better because it's made of fine tobacco and it's toasted to taste better. So, pick up a carton of Lucky Strike. Remember, it's toasted to taste better.
Buzz Busby and the Bayou Boys, that old-time picking and singing. Folks really love that type of music. Well, we jump from that to what you might call modern-day type. I don't know, you couldn't call it hillbilly exactly. I guess we'd have to call it sort of bop-type western. Young fellow from Memphis, Tennessee, by the name of Elvis Presley, who's coming out now. This is the new look in Western music. I reckon that's as good a name as any. What's the title of your song, Elvis?
I forgot to remember to forget.
Oh, that's a great one.
I forgot to remember to forget her. Well, I can't seem to get her off my mind. I thought I'd never miss her, but I found out somehow. I think about her most all the time. The day she went away, I made myself a promise that I'd soon forget we ever met. But something sure is wrong, 'cause I'm so blue and lonely. I forgot to remember to forget. Play it, myself a promise that I'd soon forget we ever met. Well, but something sure is wrong, 'cause I'm so blue and lonely. I forgot to remember to forget.
So that was Elvis Presley with Scotty and Bill, and I Forgot to Remember to Forget You, a song that's been doing remarkably well all across the country for the past several weeks. Little instrumental time now, as we introduce...
You're right, I'm a little piece of gold. You're right, and I'm a little all alone. Well, you tried to tell me so, but how was I to know that she was not the one for me? You're right, I'm a little piece of gold. You're right, I'm a little all alone. She's gone, I know not where, but now I just don't care. For now, I'm falling for you. If you forgive me now, I'll make it up somehow. So happy we will be in a home for two or three, and I'll soon forget that I know. Well, I thought I knew just what you do, but guess I'm not so smart. Well, you tried to tell me all you know, it only breaks my heart. Well, you're right, I'm a little cheesy guy. You're right, and I'm a little all alone. Well, she's gone, I know not where, but now I just don't care. For now, all I have for falling for you. No more to say. Encore. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time. Need my baby. Well, it ain't no fun with the sun around. I get going when the sun goes down around. Leave my baby. Well, we're gonna kiss and a kiss and a kiss and a kiss and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, who cares how many times I kiss? I'm like this, keep score. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time. When I'm in the night, baby. We're gonna kiss we're gonna kiss some more. Who cares how many times we kiss? I'm like this, so I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time. When I leave my house, baby, and it don't matter if the street is slow. I drive in cold when the lights are low. With my baby, make me dip till the rain comes down. I don't know when she's around, oh boy. What a baby. Well, we're gonna kiss and a kiss and a kiss and a kiss. Well, once it's from my baby down in the house, more. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time. When I meet my heart, baby. We're gonna kiss and a kiss and a kiss and a kiss and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, once it's from my baby down in the house. Well, the sun don't shine. I get my loving in the evening time. When I meet my heart, baby. Come along, everybody, come along. Come along, the moon is shining bright. We've all had a wonderful time at the Louisiana Airlines tonight.
This 30 minutes of the Louisiana Hayride has been especially for the Far East networks of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Well, that's all for this portion of the Louisiana Hayride for this week. We're so happy that you could tune in. And, of course, if you're ever in near Shreveport, Louisiana on a Saturday, you'll be sure to drop in and see us.
The boy sings pretty good. If we had a song, we might have a record. That was how the most successful and spectacular career in entertainment began. The words were spoken by guitar player Scotty Moore about a 19-year-old singer named Elvis Presley in the spring of 1954. The assessment was an understatement, to be sure, but it was befitting of Scotty Moore, who had seen hopefuls come and go in a business that has an abundance of pretty good singers. Sam Phillips had asked Scotty to listen to Elvis for an evaluation as to his potential as a recording artist. What Scotty saw was almost as impressive as what he heard. Scotty recalls that first meeting this way.
Well, my first meeting was actually a couple of weeks before, or rather, no, it wasn't a couple of weeks. It was a few days before our first actual session. I had been working with Sam for several months, trying to come up with a record, an artist, a song, or anything that we could make a buck out of. And during this process, Elvis's name came up, and Sam gave me his number. I called him, come over to my house, and listen to him sing. So he came over one Sunday afternoon and listened. Well, we played, rather. He sang, played, I guess, a couple of hours. Bill Black at the time was living a few doors down the street. He came down, listened to a couple of songs, and left. And after he left, I called Sam and told him, I said, well, the boy sings pretty good. I said, he didn't knock me out. And he said, well, what do you think? Will we need a song or what? I said, yeah, I think with the right song, he would be, be good on record. when I first met Elvis, when he came to my house on that Sunday afternoon. He had on a pink shirt, pink pants with white stripes down the legs, and white shoes. And I thought my wife was going to go out the back door. Just shocked because people just weren't wearing that kind of flashy clothes at the time. They had the sideburns and the ducktails, just a lot of hair. Bill and I were working together with a group called the Starlight Wranglers. What we referred to as just a regular juke joint or honky-tonk band at the time, and which there were many bands of that type around. The singer's name was Doug Poindexter, and it was Doug Poindexter and the Starlight Wranglers. Bill was working daytime at Firestone building tires, and I was working for my brother who had a cleaning plant, cleaning and blocking hats for him. Oh, Elvis was driving the truck at Crown Electric at the time when we first met him. I don't remember how long he worked there after we started performing, just in town, in those early weeks. Couldn't have been very long.
Scotty, how did Elvis happen to come to Sam Phillips' studio in the first place?
Elvis had been in, which was then known really as Memphis Recording Service. He had been in there about a year before. The Memphis Recording Service was a service where anyone could walk in off the street with a guitar or what have you and make a personal recording of their own. So Elvis had been in with his guitar to make a record as a gift for his mother. I think her birthday, I believe. And in the process, Sam and his secretary, Marion Keisker, both thought the boy had a good voice and had just kept his name on file. And like I said, a year later, approximately a year later, when I came in contact with Sam and in discussing it, well, his name had come up.
What happened when you, Elvis, and Bill Black went to the studio to record?
Next meeting was a few days later when we went into the studio for, again, primarily an audition. Sam, in the meantime, had called him and asked him if he would mind coming in the studio. I'd like to put his voice on tape and see how it came back, and which he, of course, readily agreed to. And Bill and I only went in with him as to have just some kind of meager accompaniment with him, so he wouldn't be standing alone in the studio, The first song I think we put out was I Love You Because. The same cut as the one that's on record. We went through several different songs, and again, a problem would be for him to sing something that we knew, because Bill and myself both played by ear. Elvis played by ear. But anyway, we went through two or three different songs, and more or less taking a break, having coffee, Coke, and Elvis started clowning around. Just picked up his guitar and started kibitzing and singing That's All Right Mama. He started singing That's All Right Mama and clowning around studio, dancing, just cutting up in general. And Bill picked up his bass, started slapping it and clowning also. And then I joined in, and it was just a rhythm vamp. And Sam was in the control room, the door was open, and he came out and said, "What are y'all doing?" I said, "That sounds pretty good." I said, we don't know. He said, "Well, see if you can do it again the same way. Let's put it on tape, see what it sounds like." I said, "Sound pretty good through the door." So we kind of looked around at each other and said, "Well, what was we doing?" So we backtracked and tried to do it again. And I think we did it twice more. We did it once for Sam to get a balance, and then we put it on tape. And that was it.
When was the second song, Blue Moon of Kentucky, recorded?
A few days later, next night or two, oh gosh, I don't remember. But we had the one song. We didn't know what we had. We knew it was different. So now the problem was to get something for the other side in the same vein. And I don't remember what kind of songs we possibly went through in this session, but again, during a break, Bill Black started clowning and singing Blue Moon in Kentucky in a high falsetto a la Bill Monroe, but he was slapping the bass and everything. And Elvis joined in and started singing it with him. And I think we all knew immediately when this happened that this might be, what we was looking for. So we kind of stopped and figured out where to start and stop and put it on tape, and that was it.
What happened after the first record was completed? Did Elvis join your band?
Elvis played the Bon Air Club with the Starlight Wranglers group first. That was in other words, he came out there as an added attraction, guest artist, what have you. The first plan was Elvis would become a part of the already existing group. And we did 2 or 3, I did a few shows of that nature with Elvis as a added feature attraction. But as most bands go, dissension became apparent almost immediately. Dissension among the troupe, so to speak, because we had to, since Bill and I had recorded the 2 songs with him, when he'd come on, well, everybody else had to drop out, or it wouldn't be the record. And so I think you can see where that immediately became from the other guys, which rightfully so, they're left out of a spotlight situation. And so after a few weeks of this, everybody more or less agreed that, well, this is not going to work this way, so, you guys go ahead, and it looks like this thing might turn into something good. I don't think there was any ill feelings among anyone, just a situation of the times.
Where'd the group appear in those earliest days? And what was it like?
Well, we traveled around Memphis from Cat's drugstore openings to high school auditorium assemblies. Guest shots at the Eagle's Nest, which was a nightclub on Highway 78, adjacent to a swimming pool, a summer play area. Our first public appearance was the Cat's drugstore, the opening of the Cat's drugstore at Lamar and Airways. And we played on a flatbed truck in the parking lot. After we did these few stints in town, in Memphis, well, it was during this period that Elvis signed a management contract with me, which was a protection device. Bob Neal started booking us. He had an early morning radio show on WMPS, which early morning just boomed right down the Delta. So we started working a lot of schoolhouse shows down through that area. Also some in Arkansas, and Mississippi, I'd say, would be the first territory that we went into outside of Memphis. And Bill Black, who was a bass player in our old group, was the clown. If you remember back then, everybody had a clown in the group. Well, some of those early shows, if it hadn't been for Bill, we would all fell just flat on our face, because Elvis was such an oddity, if you will, that when people first saw him, when he first came on and started performing, they were in shock. And through Bill's antics, combined with Elvis, his own antics, the crowd would finally just loosen up and fall to pieces. But Bill would be the one that, because he was doing stuff like riding the bass, and he'd get a pair of bloomers and put them on, or do anything to get the crowd loosened up. And if we had to really contribute concert success to anyone in the very early days, it would have to be to Bill, from my standpoint. The minute the crowd would break open, then Elvis would have them in the palm of his hands then from then on. The period between 54, latter part of 54, July to at least Christmas. Mississippi, Arkansas, and of course Louisiana, in and around Shreveport, the immediate area of Shreveport. This would be primarily from the Louisiana Hayride broadcast because KWKH covered that area real good.
How was the group received by the audiences you played for? What did they think of Elvis?
Well, the first time we went down there was some dates that Tim and Frank had supposedly booked for us. I said, well, we were down there for the hayride, but in the process we were staying to do these dates. The dates didn't materialize, and we were hung up there in the hotel and couldn't pay our hotel bill and get out for a couple of weeks, I believe. And Pappy Covington, who was a booking agency that booked a lot of the hayride acts, finally got us a couple of bookings in East Texas before we could bail out of the hotel and get back to Memphis. So we could start all over, do the same thing again.
Whose car was the group using to make your dates?
Well, we started out traveling on the road in a 54 Bel Air Chevrolet, which, it actually belonged to my wife, Bobby, because she was working at Sears and making car payments. And the three of us were working as hard as we could trying to keep gas in it to get to our dates. We drove the 54 Chevy about 40,000 miles, I suppose, and it gave out on us. Then Elvis got a Lincoln, a 49 or 50 model Lincoln, which only lasted a couple of months. We had a wreck in that, and then he got the 54 Cadillac, which he had painted pink. The pink Cadillac caught fire and burned just outside of Texarkana, Arkansas, one night right after a show. My rear wheel bearing locked up, and Elvis was in the car with a date, and Bill and I were following in another car. And when we caught up to him, he was on the side of the road frantically emptying the trunk, throwing guitars and amplifiers and clothes. It took us 2 hours to get everything out of the ditch after the car burnt. Elvis was very unhappy about the car burning because that was naturally the first real honest-to-goodness show car, I guess you could say.
When you played the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, what happened there?
The first and only appearance that we made on the Grand Ole Opry was kind of earth-shattering for all involved, I guess. They wouldn't let us do but one song, and we had to do Blue Moon in Kentucky because it was a country song. The audience reaction was very light, so I was just in total, it was a bomb, really what it amounted to.
Some 2 weeks later, the group played the Louisiana Hayride. What was that like?
The first Hayride appearance, there was, as I remember, a good crowd. I don't think they had a full house necessarily, but it was a younger crowd than we'd experienced at the Grand Ole Opry, a much younger crowd. It was like a place for people to go on Saturday night, and they reacted. I mean, they reacted. The next time we were there, they brought their friends, and so on. Sam was handling all the negotiations on that, where I don't know if we went back the following Saturday night. I know we were invited back, and we went back a time or two, and Sam went down with us and got with the people in charge to negotiate Elvis being a regular member of the Hayride.